Welcome, welcome everyone. Hello, my name is Chef Ginger. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am here at the Lazy Acres Market in Hermosa Beach, California in their Pier Room. So today I am making Mediterranean cod over quinoa. It's a beautiful dish, you're gonna love it. You can find all the ingredients at the top of this video in the comment section. So be sure you wash your hands before you start, and I'm gonna review the ingredients with you. You need 2 pounds of cod, 16-ounce bag of quinoa, a pound of asparagus, a couple of garlic cloves, some olive oil, marinated artichokes, a red onion, kalamata olives, half a cup, a third of a cup of capers, a third of a cup of sun-dried tomatoes, a half a cup of cherry tomatoes, and a cup of crumbled feta cheese. Salt and pepper, and for the garnish we're going to use either cilantro or basil. The tools you need are a blender, a saute pan, a frying pan, measuring cups, mixing bowls, tongs, spatula, spoons, a cutting board, a platter, a gravy dish, and a towel. I know there's a lot of ingredients, but you are going to love this dish. It's so delicious. So before we start, make sure you ground yourself. We're going to start with an open heart. Cooking comes from nurturing and love, so you want to make sure that you're in a really good headspace before you start. So here we go. Let's get started. We're going to blend our sauce, and this sauce is delicious. So what you need is a blender, and you want to get your Greek yogurt. We're using a whole container of Greek yogurt, and if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can use a vegan yogurt. Just go ahead and put that right in the blender. We're keeping it nice and easy. So if you don't like cilantro, you can use basil. We have basil here. We're using about a cup of fresh herbs, either cilantro or basil. We have the basil, and we want a garlic clove. I like heavy garlic, so we're going to use 2 garlic cloves. You just peel the skin right off the garlic and toss it into the blender. We don't need to chop it because it's going to blend nice into a puree. So again, depending on the size of your garlic and how much you like, will be contingent on how much you want. So I'm putting in 2. I'm Italian, so I like a lot of garlic. 2 cloves of garlic, and we have a lime, nice juicy lime here. We're going to squeeze that right in the blender. Just go ahead and use your hands, but cup your fingers so the seeds don't fall. So I'm using 1.5 lime. Squeeze 1.5 limes into the blender. We're going to add some salt and pepper. 1 more. We roll out the lime to release the juices. We tunnel out our hand. Ooh, need a sharper knife. Okay. And squeezing right into the blender. Okay, there you have it. Lime juice. All right, and some salt, just maybe a big pinch of salt, and some pepper. And we have a ripe avocado. So you have the avocados that are maybe a little too ripe. That's totally fine, because we're, again, putting it into the blender and turning it into a puree. So just scoop your avocado, and we pop the seed out, just like that, right into the blender. So what do we have? We have our Greek yogurt, our basil, 2 garlic cloves, 1.5 lime juice, pinch of salt and pepper, and a half an avocado or a whole avocado, your choice. And we blend. I have a Vitamix here, so we're going to blend it on medium-high Vitamix. Blending, blending, it's getting loud. Okay, and now we taste. We have a tasting spoon here. We're going to taste that. Make sure we like it. Love it. Nice citrus flavor with the Greek yogurt. So good. Okay, now we're going to scoop a little bit out and pour it right on top of our fish. So we're putting the sauce on top of the fish. We're going to smear that around. And usually I like to leave this marinade for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's a great marinade for the codfish. So here I have 1 pound of Alaskan wild-caught cod. It looks so beautiful. So both sides we're marinating. And then we're going to salt and pepper. We have our pepper here. And salt. There we go. And then I place this in the pan upside down, and then I salt and pepper the other side. So let's get the sauté pan going. We have our sauté pan for the cod. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil once the pan gets hot. So here's a key thing that I want you guys to remember. Never put cold protein on a hot pan. So this codfish has been sitting out for about 30 minutes. You don't want it necessarily room temperature, but close to. Not too cold. So the pan's heating up here. We have medium-high heat. We're going to put some olive oil in the pan. And this codfish is really long, so I'm going to cut it right in half. Right down the middle. And then placing it into the pan here. Nice hot pan. Like I said, upside down, and then I'm going to salt and pepper the other side. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. And then we have some salt and pepper for the top side. Cod is a delicious white fish. Not too fishy. It's really rich in vitamins and minerals, vitamin B. Okay, and now we're moving on to our asparagus. So this is going to saute in the pan for approximately 8 minutes, and then we're going to flip it in a little bit longer on the other side. I always like a nice sear on one side and less on the other. Okay, so moving on to our asparagus. We have beautiful asparagus here at Lazy Acres. Gorgeous. Move this. So you want to cut the tips off. This is hard to chew and digest, as you most likely know. So you want to cut the ends off. How do you know where to cut the ends off? I'll give you a little trick. So you want to bend it like this. You want to take your asparagus like this, and wherever it snaps off, that's where you want to cut that piece off. It's usually how I tell. Okay, so we're trimming the ends of the asparagus, putting it on our platter, and we're going to drizzle some olive oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. It's really easy. Some salt, pepper. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to mince some garlic and throw the garlic in the pan. What you don't want to do is put the garlic in first, because garlic cooks really fast. Like in 2 minutes, your garlic's done. And when it's overcooked, it tastes bitter. You don't want that. So we got our other saute pan over here. We're going to turn that on high heat. I like a high heat for my asparagus, and then I put a lid over the top, and it gets that nice smoky flavor, which I love with my asparagus. So we have our cod cooking right now. I'm going to trade pans here and put this right over the high heat. We already have olive oil on the asparagus, so we're just waiting for the pan to heat up. And then we go ahead and we put our asparagus right in the pan with the lid right on top. There it is. Now we're prepping our other ingredients. So we have quinoa here. It's already cooked. So get a whole bag of quinoa, cook that quinoa. People think quinoa is a grain, but it's actually a seed. It's very good for you. It's high in protein, phosphorus. Phosphorus is great for the bones. I put quinoa on a lot of different things. I actually make cereal bowls with it. I keep it in my refrigerator, already cooked. I throw it on salads. It's delicious. Very good for you. And another thing, Mediterranean ingredients. I have like 5 ingredients in my cupboard in case I want to just do some Mediterranean style cooking. You use kalamata olives, sun-dried tomatoes, marinated artichokes, capers, and feta cheese. If you have those 5 ingredients, you can toss that in pasta. You can put it in couscous. Today we're doing it in quinoa. You're going to love this dish. So already cooked quinoa. And then we have our kalamata olives. I think it's half a cup of kalamata olives. We have our sliced sun-dried tomatoes, about 1/3 of a cup. So you don't want the big pieces. You want them sliced nice and thin. It's got a strong flavor, so be careful with that. And then also we have our artichoke hearts marinated, our capers. And we're going to toss that together. Mediterranean style. So the fish is ready to turn over. I could smell it. Almost ready to flip. We want a nice sear on one side. Let's check the asparagus. We want to toss this around. Again, you want that smoke in the pan, and then put the lid on top. So keep it on high, put the lid on top. It's going to give a nice smoky flavor. So we're going to flip this fish right now. There. Get a nice sear. Ooh. Okay. Looks delish. Now we're going to turn down the heat on this cod. Turning it down. That's going to be another few minutes on that side. In the meantime, let's chop our garlic here. We're going to mince some garlic for the asparagus. We're going to throw it right in the pan. It's a big clove, so I'm just going to use 1. Mincing the garlic. Delicious. Okay. Asparagus is probably almost done cooking. We're going to toss a little bit of lime juice right on top of that asparagus. So you have half a lime. Some juice in there. And then place this garlic right on top. We're not tossing it yet. Lid goes back on. The cod's looking good. Now we're going to mix all these ingredients into the quinoa. This is delicious. We're going to add a little salt and pepper. So the rest of this green garlic sauce is going to go right on top of this quinoa. So the nose knows. Pay attention to the smells in your kitchen when you're cooking. My nose always tells me. I rarely use a timer. I'm not much of a baker. When I do, I'll use a timer. But I'm mostly a savory chef. My nose tells me when things are done. So we're going to slice the red onion. Tunnel out your hand, slice it right down the middle. You want to leave that root on. Ah, the asparagus is nice and smoky. We're about to turn the asparagus over. Slicing your red onion, and then peel that. You want to take this top right off. Just take the top off, go ahead and toss it, and then thinly slice this red onion using your claw hands. Claw hands. Thinly sliced red onions. And we don't want too much. Some people are sensitive to raw onion. Okay, asparagus is about done. We're going to toss it. Grab your tongs. Now the garlic goes right to the bottom. We have a nice sear on the asparagus. Trust me, this is such a good dish. People love this asparagus. Okay, that needs about 1 more minute. We're turning the pan off on the fish. And we're about to plate. So you want to get your platter. This was just the platter with the olive oil on it. We're going to put the quinoa right on top. There's your Mediterranean quinoa right on top of that platter. And now we want to put the feta cheese right on top of that. So get your feta cheese crumbles. Just crumble a little bit on top, not too much. You can use the whole thing if you like your feta cheese. You can stir it in. I like to leave it right on top. And now we're taking our cherry tomatoes. I got a variety color here of cherry tomatoes. Slicing them and placing them on the side. We're decorating our plate now. I love the way this looks. It's a great presentation if you have guests coming over. Your family's gonna love it. Kids love it. Asparagus is done. Taking the lid off. Tomatoes, using your little tunnel fingers, slicing those right in half. You need a sharp knife for these tomatoes, or a serrated steak knife works good, or cheese knife. We like the variety of colors, so a couple more tomatoes here. And then the red onion slices all over the top. Red onion on the top. And now, what else do we have? We have our sauce. We're going to get this sauce. Keeping that seafood in the pan, we're going to get this sauce. 1 scoop, right down the middle. Now we're taking the fish off of the pan. This fish is so flaky, it's literally falling apart. Delicious, goes right on top. Right on top. There you have it. Using your tongs, you're going to get the asparagus out. Ah, lovely. Sauteed asparagus. Clean. Everything's clean. We're putting that right on the side of your platter. It's a really nice presentation here. Oops. now everything is off. Everything is off. Now we have our toppings, which is cilantro. I love cilantro as a finishing herb. You have your finishing herbs, basil, cilantro, thyme. We're going to use cilantro and basil today. A little more sauce on top of your cod. You could chiffonade some basil or get the little pieces right on top. Again, if you don't like cilantro, just use more basil. If you don't like basil, cilantro works. We're going to sprinkle that right on top. And then one more tomato. We're going to put those right there. You have your towel, cleaning. Last but not least, you have your lime. A little bit more lime left. Slice that right in half. These go right on the side. This is your dish. It makes for a great presentation for your guests, for your family. It's fantastic for you. Quinoa is high in protein. If you're eating meals like this, remember to take a moment and be grateful. Here you have it, Mediterranean cod over quinoa. Delicious. Grilled asparagus, garlic sauce, you're gonna love it. Don't forget to post your pictures on Instagram, but be sure you tag us. And also make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. All right, thank you so much. It was my honor to teach you. I hope you enjoy this meal.